And welcome back to the restoration of the Miller Manor. Just sit back and relax as I walk you through part 3 of the series. All support is appreciated. Thank you. Trist peeks into another room, revealing another bedroom with a broken handle. As he peeks into the curious bedroom, Quirin passes by Trist, telling him about his discovery. The armors were sent as revenge by James Miller. Quirin marches over to the old man and questions him by asking, "Who is James Miller?" the name found in the suitcase. Quirin's query is received by an extended silence, long enough to make Quirin question whether or not the old man was still alive. The silence was broken by the old man, with a seemingly out-of-character, defeated tone. "My son, Mr. Miller, the message was left for you. Why is it attacking someone else? This isn't right." His hand absent-mindedly moves towards his family crest on his chest. After a minute of silence, Quirin rejoins his companions, clearly taken aback by the new development. "This thing was left here by Mr. Miller's son, James. Don't know what it wants with the girl, but we can't leave her waiting for much longer. If you've decided to fight it, I'll help with what I can." Zalara places herself next to Bromgus and holds up her shield. "Shield wall," she exclaims in a dwarven tongue with a giggle. "We're not letting anything through, right, Mr. Dwarf?" She bobs Bromgus' shoulder lightly with her fist while giving him a wink. "Nobody's getting hurt," he starts in dwarven, then harumphs in common. "I'm here to help." Dylan attempts to get on the other side of the armor by going around the entire house while opening various doors in case of obvious hints. But it's quickly turned around when he realizes there is no clear way to the other side. Dylan returns to Bromgus and Zalara as they hear a feminine voice from beyond the door scream out, "When you're ready, I'll distract it. Just give me a signal." This irritates the armor. It lets out a bellowing growl that fills the room. Dylan comments, "I could have sworn there were 5 of us." Cut to Trist, who has been investigating a room aimlessly until he jumps onto the bed in the room and becomes enveloped in a cloud of dust, causing him to have a coughing fit as he steps out of the room and brushes his dust off his clothes. He rejoins the party as they stare down their target, Zalara with her magic at the ready. Bromgus wields his weapon with all his dwarvish might, along with the shield holding the line. The leading pair begin inching forward towards the armor safely, awaiting for the right moment to let out the signal. Quirin shakes off the feeling of uncertainty and prepares to strike along with the others. Trist joins with light-footed stance, causing some excess dust that hadn't been shaken off to fall on Arxis as she growls at the monstrosity. Arxis shakes her head before letting out a sneeze, ruining her intimidation, but not her focus. Dylan attempts to get past the suit of armor, swiftly evading its sight before it has a chance to react. Realizing the precarious position it's in now, it turns its head to Dylan and then to the party, the armor creaking with an awful metallic screech as it moves. Its back is now against the wall in a defensive stance as the party closes in. Zalara and Bromgus slam their respective weapons and armored hands onto their shield, causing a loud metallic clang to ring about the room. Now the whole group hears Miller's niece clearly as she yells out, "I'm right here, you big bucket of bolts! Finish me off!" The armor without hesitation steps forward to the door, raising its weapon for an attack before the door is suddenly opened, slamming into the armor and ruining the horror's attack stance, and leaving an opening for everyone to attack. The helmed horror staggers back from the impact. First is Arxis, who bites at the armor's ankle and flees before any harm can come to her. She's followed up by Zalara, who unleashes a volley of electric arcs that surge through the horror, causing it to let out an inhuman howl. The helmed horror is then given a good whack by Dylan's magically infused club 3 times back to back. A loud ringing echoes through its empty body as if it were a bell. After being treated like a piñata, it retaliates by cleaving its sword into Dylan's gem-scaled body, causing a deep wound. Quill whispers something under his breath. Those next to him hear his words repeating in low, hushed tones that increase in volume as the sound waves make their way to the armor. It shakes its head from the sudden mental pain. He then points a finger at the creature and shouts, "I don't think having an actual brain under that helmet would make any difference to you. Good riddance." In this case, words cut deeper than any blade. Quirin also takes this as an opportunity to inspire Bromgus, encouraging him to bring this thing down for good. Brahms continues the onslaught by casting a bolt of light through his palm that causes the armor's weak points to glow. He then tries to follow it up with another spell, but it fails. Frustrated, he walks forward to engage the armor with his hammer in the following round. Last but not least, Triss taunts the armor, successfully pulling his attention away from Diolen, who was likely in some peril after the last attack. Now having the opportunity, Triss fires 2 crossbow bolts into the eye sockets of the armor with pinpoint accuracy. Not wanting to risk herself, Vidalia shuts the door to put some space between herself and the armor. We begin the next round as Arxis successfully stings and poisons the armor, causing it to wail. At the same time, Zalara moves in and aims her gem upwards, through the armor in hopes it wouldn't cause any collateral to Diolen and maybe find a better angle, and does so successfully, striking through the armor with another bolt of lightning. Zalara then repositions behind Bromgus, giving him an encouraging pat on the shoulder. Diolen swings his staff and misses the armor as it deflects the blow with its shoulder. The horror strikes back by bringing down his sword on Triss, twice, and missing thanks to the debuff efforts of the casters. It howls in frustration, filling the room with an unholy symphony. Quill once again cuts deep with his words by saying, "Listen up, your brainless bucket. I had enough of the sound of your rusting joints. Perish!" He heals Diolen's wound, ensuring he can keep standing for another round. Bromgus tolls the bell of the dead, which the armor resists. Triss, seeing the sorry state of the armor, hopes to bring it down with a well-placed arrow, and does not find his target. Arxis, doing her best to chip away at its health, fails to help this round. Zalara repeats her battle strategy, likely thinking to herself, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sadly, her attack failed, whizzing past Diolen. It looks like the luck of our heroes is running out. Diolen attempts to distract the armor to give someone an opening. The armor raises his sword once more, bringing it down on the young Triss. Thankfully, the splitting headache caused by Quirin forces the horror's attack to just barely miss. The follow-up attack found the same fate. And thanks to the opening, leaving the armor vulnerable, Quirin was able to let out a scream of whispers that filled the horror's head, until it simply stopped moving and began to melt into a mass of sludge. Now, we wait as the dust settles. Where do they go next? Thank you everyone for watching, especially those of you watching until the end. The support in the past couple of videos has been really encouraging, and I'm sorry about the late upload. I happened to catch something. But hey, better late than never, right? If you liked the video and want to see where the story goes next, give the subscribe button a big ol' whack for me, would you? Just, maybe be gentle so it won't melt into a pile of goop. That, would be quite unfortunate. Hey, wait, no, stop! No!